Good morning, I'm Cecilia Morogbo. Of course, Stella Bamawo of the Nation's newspaper. She's here with me on the show. Stella, good morning.
Good morning, Cecilia.
So how was it coming here? You said something before the show, so I'm not going to go into that. You're welcome to do that. Okay, we'll start with athletics this morning. Of course, last week, Ohuruogu was actually in Nigeria for a foundation by Damilola that was actually started in the UK some time ago. We caught up with her and she talked about what is happening in Nigerian athletics, what they actually need to do, what the Jamaicans have done, and what the British athletes are also doing. And this is simply because he feels Nigeria has about 150 million people, more than 150 million people, and of course they can easily harness the talent that they need. Stella, you actually, at the event when she came last week.
Yeah.
Some of the things that she said about Nigerian athletes, what do you think about it? Because we discovered that Nigerian athletes, especially the female athletes, it's always difficult for them to excel at the world stage, except Blessing Okagbare.
Yes, actually she advised the Nigerian government to provide more funds for the athletes. And also, on the athletes' parts, she advised them to work very hard on their parts to ensure that they meet up to the standard. They should work hard. They should be able to leverage themselves before the government put in funds for them.
Okay. Let's just listen to Christine. And of course, she also talked about her preparations for the Commonwealth Games.
I think Nigerian athletes work as hard as any other athletes. I think they work hard. I think the difference between probably them succeeding and other people succeeding is just a nature of support. But then again, at the same time, Nigeria, we can produce. We have how many millions? 100 and something million people. So you have to be able to harness these athletes, harness them, find the talent, and then support them on their journey. Jamaica's a far smaller country, and they do it successfully. When I go to Jamaica, they have babies running, and they find the talent, and that's a very small island. So Nigeria should be able to find the talent and be able to harness the talent and then push them on. It shouldn't really be difficult to do. If you look at what we can do in Britain, we have far less people, yet we can find the talent. Nigeria should have a far greater pool of potential successful athletes. I think she's lovely. For someone so young, she's done incredibly well, very, very well. I know she trains very, very hard. I think everybody, don't put too much pressure on her. She's only one woman. She can't save the whole sport, but I think she just has to be supported, and so that whether she does well or not, she still has the support of the Nigerian people. I think first and foremost, I just want to get to the Commonwealth Games healthily. And then I've not really made too many big plans about the Commonwealth Games. We're just going to have an easy couple of months and just train slowly but steadily in preparation for the Games. It's too early to say. I've had a very, very difficult, hard 2 years, London Olympics and the World Champs last year. So I've not really set too many goals this year. I think it's important that I give myself a chance to rest and then get ready for the next, the major champs next year and then the Olympics the year after that.
Ohuruogu will start to run her down, and it's coming fast and it's coming quick, but will it be quick enough? Could have Shaka on the far side as well, but not so. Will she get there? Christine's coming. She might just make it. She might just made it. Did she get it? She smiles. The two of them are pretty good friends.
Yeah, that was Christine when she actually won the 400 meters title at the World Championships last year, 2013. She set up another British record. Of course, you will say she is an accomplished athlete, and of course at 29, there's something she said I'm picking that is like, it's only blessing we have in Nigeria, that much pressure shouldn't be on her. I will learn that Regina Nigeria have actually qualified for one great tournament at the weekend.
Yes, she participated in the indoors in London, and I think we must commend her because it's not easy meeting the standards of the IAF, and she has been able to meet the standard, and she's going to represent Nigeria at the relays.
Okay, that's really a good one, because that word relays, I mean, it's really a huge one, because when I was actually watching, the Indo Championship in London at the weekend, you discover that we have so many Nigerian names. I saw Osage for British, I saw Ejegede for US, Ezine for Norway, a female. We're like, what is happening to Nigerian athletes? And we, apart from Regina George, who had the flag of Nigeria, could hardly see any other Nigerian name that really represented Nigeria at that championship, both the male and the female. Because once the World Championship starts now, I mean 2 years from now, and of course the Commonwealth Games, and just like she said, all hopes also on Blessing Okagbare. Do you see any other athletes, male or female, that can really compete very well?
Actually, with the programs on ground by the AFN, I think we should expect new athletes coming on board, because they employ performance directors from America. So I expect them to do well, and we have a lot of activities on the AFN calendar, so they should be able to perform this time around.
Okay, talking about performing this time around, and of course talking about the things AFN have put in place, having a performance director. You were at Ijebu the other weekend.
Yeah.
You saw so many athletes.
Yes.
Any promising one from there, apart from Divine Oduduru? I know you're going to go
Actually, for the male athletes,
yes,
I'm expecting Ohuruogu.
Okay, he's back.
He's back. Then Obiname too has been off the scene for a while. So I feel he should be able to perform too. He's on board now.
Okay, Obiname too again. And that's all. I think that's really
good. Then we have Shadi Abugan.
Shadi Abugan, of course, she was also there too.
Yes.
What about Margaret Etim? Any new thing happening to her?
Nothing much, but I think the athletes should do well this time around with the activities on ground
and this conditioning process that they started with, which is really huge. I hope they will be able to, do that. That's the expectation we're expecting. The things we're expecting from Nigerian athletes this particular season. Moving on, we just talked about tennis briefly, talking about the ITTF tour in Qatar. And of course, we have two Nigerians, of course, Kazima Kojola and Ohuruogu representing the country. And these two tennis players, of course, getting a very, very tough test. This Qatar Open is starting today. Makonjola, of course, he will be facing the man who actually won the Lagos International Tennis Classics. I mean, he is a darling to everyone. When he came to Nigeria, he actually stole the show, Omar Asa. That's the man he will be facing, an Egyptian. And of course, for Ohuruogu, well, he is not even getting an easy draw also for himself. He will be facing another Singaporean, Zazo Zing. That's still another big one for them. But they're saying that they should be able to get into the main draw because the money is really, really huge. Because you have the total prize money, which is about $500,000, which is the biggest in the ITTF calendar. And of course, you have the next one is actually the China Open, $350,000. Followed by that. But these guys, whether you participated or not, if you get to the main draws, you definitely go home with something. It's called, of course, runner-up smiling home with as much as $1,500. So this is the money that they want to get their hands in. We are having more than 200 players from 35 countries participating. Of course, the two Nigerians there and the one in Kuwait, they could not get into the main draw. Of course, they crashed. They're going to get into the singles. But hopefully, this one, they're saying that they want to do Nigerian proud by getting into the main draw, which is really huge for them.
Yes, I expect Ohuruogu to be.
It's more like a bigger name because Kazim at the Classics he finished third, so it wasn't really, what everyone was looking forward to. But for Haruna, it's more like the bigger one.
Yeah, and he's a professional, so.
You think he can get into the main draw? I
expect him to. Hopefully.
Hopefully, that's the word. I mean, Canopillars have sacked their board members. The reason they crashed out of the Champions League. And of course, last season, last in 2009 they actually made their debut. They got to the semi-finals, but this time around they lost away 3-1. Of course, at home they were able to defeat AS Vita, but at the end of the day, that was not enough for them as they lost 4-3 on aggregate, having lost the first leg 1-3 a week earlier. The special advisor to the Kano State Governor on Sport, Ahmed Shoaib Gara, said the move was taken, in view to actually appoint appoint a new board that will drive the club forward towards privatization and all that. We learned that the Kano State government have actually spent a lot of money on this club, but they said the money they've actually spent on it was mismanaged and they could not even get a spot into the last 32 of the CAF Champions League games. They've been sacked. Although they said, okay, Modi, he didn't really do well, but since he's still new, they will just leave him to be in the hands of affairs. We hope that Kano Pillars, once the league starts on the 7th of March, they can be able to show that they're really African, not just Nigerian champions. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's really not acceptable because you're having a champion from Nigeria crashing out of the preliminary stage of the CAF Champions League. What do you think went wrong for Kano Pillars?
Well, I think like the coaching crew should be blamed for that.
Okay, so the sacking of the board is really cool for you. Okay, okay, so let's say the coaching crew should be blamed. We'll just go for a break now. Tayo Salam will definitely join me for the second segment, and of course the papers review and the CAF champion, not the CAF Champions League, the real Champions League. About the UEFA Champions League, it's back knockout stage tonight, and of course Tayo Salam will be joining me to discuss these and more.
His love of sport totally reciprocated by sports love for him.
Diese Woche bei allen Spielen der UEFA Champions League ein Banner gezeigt, um diesen außergewöhnlichen Menschen zu würdigen. Die Botschaft auf dem Banner lautet Madiba, wie Nelson Mandela in Südafrika genannt wird.
It's a cold night. The players will want to get moving from the ceremonial picture. It's a terrific ball from Muller. First real chance. Exactly what you'd expect from the first real chance, the first Bayern goal. Thomas Muller coming in from the right-hand side, finding a soft centre. No response from Guardiola, who looks like a man who expects to see this sort of thing happen. Kante drops from Mandzukic and put in by Goethe. Well, they're taking Manchester City apart here. And even routine balls aren't being dealt with by Pellegrini's players.
I've watched Manchester City virtually every